Hello, world. Welcome back to Enter the Metaverse. Today on our podcast, we have special guest Jeremy Lasman. Jeremy is the founder of Universal Imagination Incorporated, a multidimensional research and development organization focused on the passion industry. He is also the inventor of imagination technology, a newly utility designed to help people unlock their full potential of their passion. So, welcome, Jeremy. If you want to dive deeper into the explanation of what that means.
Yeah, so I love the research and development kind of energy. Like that's really where my creativity and passion really comes alive is when I'm creating something new, something innovative, and really that like experimental energy is really how I like to operate my business. And so yeah, we have kind of started something called the Passion Company, and this is taking this invention of imagination technology that I've brought and really seeing a place for a new utility for the world. So what is a utility? It's a basic human need, right? And there's water, there's gas, there's electricity. These are all basic human needs that all have utilities supporting them, right? And what I see, especially as technology advances, is passion is going to be front and center as we progress here as a species, as we move into the metaverse and have all this like technological advancements at our fingertips and our leisure, and AI and all of this like starts to really redefine what work is. Passion is going to be the focus, and so I'm building a utility company to basically lay the infrastructure to supply the highest quality passion to people and to support it in a much in a in a
Modern.
in a troubleshooting way, in a modern way that really addresses passion through our discovery, through our R&D, much more than just a volatile emotion. But basically why we see it as a basic human need is we see passion as the fuel of human energy, and that's really where that the utility kind of comes in.
Now, I'm wondering, you probably already answered the question, but what is your greatest passion? And besides bringing passion to other people, maybe that is your greatest passion. But
Yeah,
if you want to explain that into detail.
yeah. uh, the way I always love answering that is passion is my passion, because years ago when I was first starting my personal development journey, I was lost and kind of confused in who I was, and thought I was broken in some sense, and all the reasons why you kind of turn to working on yourself. And I saw that passion, first and foremost, I didn't really understand personally. I saw growing up that I would kind of get excited about things, but then I would lose interest and kind of, bounce. And I never considered myself passionate in that sense of like that traditional pick one passion, make it your career and do it for your entire life. Like I never melded with that. But as a scientist and as an artist, I chose, or I was called on a soul level to kind of like research it, to learn more about it. And what kind of erupted from that was basically a new field of knowledge that I didn't feel was tapped before, and that is the field of passion. Studying passion as a fuel, as a field of knowledge that can be progressed, advanced, and really taken to advance the species in some way.
Now, let's get in a little into your interest because, like, well, it's also part of your research is the multidimensional. There's a
Mhm.
spiritual aspect
Yep.
to everything, and I just wanted to touch base and talk a little bit about your history as well. That you talk like you have some work that you did with with SpaceX.
SpaceX. Yep.
Did you want
Yep.
to talk about that to begin with?
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're let's dive in. So I actually started at SpaceX like relatively uh kind of like the last year of high school, beginning of college, actually. So I got my foot in the door, and they were a startup back in 2005, 2006. I was employee number 110 or 111 or something like that. And basically it was like my love for technology is what got my foot in the door, got me the opportunity because I had no experience at that point. But I was a fast learner, and he saw the potential that he can give me something and I can teach myself how to do it. And so basically, like, got my foot in the door and was an IT technologist for SpaceX. And then pretty soon started to do some marketing and video production for their launches. Did some video editing packages. It was an amazing atmosphere to be a part of. I can't say that enough. Like, just to be a part of this first success, to be in the energy of multiplanetary vision that Elon brings.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible.
That's outstanding that you landed that and were successful. Were you manifesting that
Hmm.
type of experience through, do you have any techniques? Do you do manifestation techniques? Is that a part of your practice?
Back then, no, I was not even aware of manifesting when I was what 18, 17. I was basically yeah, the loner kid. um so no, at that point it was kind of at the whims of where life was putting me, basically. And if we are to call it passion, it was my passion for technology that sold me. And intelligence, you know, and taking an opportunity and crushing it. And but no, at that point, I was not spiritual at all. I would call myself agnostic,
Mhm.
in terms of like, I was raised culturally Jewish, but felt it was forced on me to go and to be a part of that. So I never had that emotional connection to the religion or spiritual aspects of that. But I would have considered myself back then agnostic, like, not proven, not disproven, but I don't see it, I don't feel it. So until I do, it's I'm agnostic, like that, not atheist, but agnostic to it.
Yeah, I understand that. It's more of like a passive, like God will find me eventually. It's like I believe in him, but he'll get to me eventually. And then
Mhm.
when you have that profound awakening moment, then you're just like, this is real. Everything, anything is possible. Anything that I
Yes.
put my mind to can be achieved. And that
Yes.
does you
Yes.
feel that? Okay.
Yeah, that started to happen around when I was 20, 21 is when I really started to focus on myself and my evolution.
Now, okay, evolution. Now, you want to get into evolution. I just want to ask you, how old are you now?
34. Almost,
34.
actually, my birthday is in March 14th.
Oh, happy early birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Pi Day.
Hi.
Also, Albert Einstein's birthday.
Oh, that's cool. That's a
Yeah, he's
good
my
to
soul bro.
so, bro. Now, what are your thoughts on evolution and where the planet is going, where the planet is headed? Um, yeah, let's start with that.
So, my thoughts on evolution. It's a big question. Um, yeah, where should we go with this? Because
Break
there's a
it down.
lot of different avenues. Big picture, the evolution to me comes down to a operating system. That's where I go when I think about evolution, because I'm a big picture kind of guy. And the vision, when I feel into evolution, we're talking the broad stroke of how our species has emerged to its stature that it is today. And then kind of, if we're looking back at history, we're talking, well, especially if you are believing in on the science side of this territory, right, is some transformation from animal consciousness to human consciousness is like where we're coming from,
Yes.
to answer that question. And when I really kind of, because I love to understand the evolution of human development in that sense, because we can really understand something about where we're going when we talk about human or animal to human, and then human to superhuman. And to me, the best metaphor, because I'm a techie, is I get to operating system. And that to me is connected to survival of the fittest.
I just want to get refer Elon Musk. He quotes this a lot. He talks about how we are kind of part cyborg because we require technology now. Like it's kind of like built into our operating system. That's what I'm quoting Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we have an upgrade in our operating system, it doesn't even have to be with technology, but it the light, everything we see is light. It's all energy. And
Mm-hmm.
every time there's an upgrade, that's a download. We're downloading into our being. We're upgrading our mind, and
Mm.
yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, and it's so clear to see it that way, because when we talk about our mind, the metaphor that the mind is a computer is very appropriate to me, because then we can really connect the humanity and technology that was already present even before the Industrial Revolution, right? Like, this is why, like, to kind of continue that question about evolution, is seeing survival of the fittest as an operating system to the species that is connected to us being animals, us seeing in a very two-dimensional way, that animals don't have an identity, right? But over the course of our evolution, we've grown this identity, this sense of being a separate person, to the rest of the world. The us versus them, the conflict is all birthed from this survival threat and being a fear-based species. And so to kind of bring that question closer to now with like, what is evolution? How do I see it? Well, this connects to passion, because we're going from an evolution that has been external to us, like an external force of nature, natural selection, survival of the fittest, has very much been nature forces happening to a species, right? And species that evolve stay, ones that don't fall away. And evolution is kind of that nature aspect there. But the opportunity now is conscious evolution.
Now, I wanted to touch on the brain part and the computer part.
Okay.
You probably heard this before, like heart and brain coherence, and like we have more than one brain, but I like to believe we have three brains, because we have our brain, we have our
Yes.
heart, which also has, I guess, I don't know if they have neurons in it, I don't know how it works, but we have the brain, the heart thinks is on its own, and we also have our gut, which is the intuition,
Mm-hmm.
and that's our internal compass, and like everything that we feed our operating system is filtered through also the gut in a different way. But
Mhm.
we are what we eat. And I've been experiencing a lot of people going through different like diet lifestyle changes,
Yeah.
and that changes their whole like your what you eat is going to change how you think. And we already know this, but some people are so like I'm just somebody has like carnivore diet that they're on, and then they're so like passionate about it. That's why I
Uh-huh.
bring it up, because they're so passionate about it. But I'm like, it's not for me. And I think that everybody's different. Everybody has a different way they eat, and they have. But
Sensibilities.
he's trying to kind of like put it onto me a little bit, but it's okay. I can deal with that. But I can
Yeah.
see the passion and like there's another word I'm looking for. Uh Not enthusiasm, but it
Belief.
will cut it yeah, belief, but it's more than that. It's essence, the essence of like, I guess enthusiasm is what it comes down to, passion in the end. But yeah,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on that?
On like diets in general.
Yeah, like
What
well,
do
like
you?
we are what we eat, and
Oh yeah.
how we have the three brains, and yeah,
Yeah. So I think I definitely am not like what you're saying is totally accurate in what you're saying, but I would kind of even simplify it, or I see it in a different way, because, and this is all interpretation, of course, right? But the way that you kind of expressed it really makes it seem like it's all in the body, right? Like the brain is in the body, the mind, like it's kind of makes it bodily based and physically based.
mhm,
The way I would kind of different angle this is body, mind, spirit, or soul, quantum self. Like by seeing it dimensionally, yes, the gut is in our stomach and in 3D, right? In physical,
yeah,
right? But really, that is our spiritual connection that we're feeling in the body, in the gut, but it's not actually in 3D. The connection that you're talking about, that is spirit, that is soul, that is fifth dimension, like connection, right?
yeah,
um so I see it dimensionally, and this is where imagination technology comes into play. The invention that I talked about earlier is to see it body, mind, spirit as dimensions. Then you can see the flow of energy through it all is the fuel, is the passion. That's what either flows effectively, efficiently, or is obstructed, bottlenecked by something, by fear, by
yeah,
philosophy, by negativity, is what obstructs that energy into pain, into anxiety, into, you know, dread, whatever it is, right? That's the passion getting stuck in the flow, the multidimensional flow, body, mind, spirit. Does that make sense?
it makes a lot of sense. I was just getting more into detail of the body, but I didn't include the mind or the spirit connection yet. Well, we can call it like a trinity as well, like
Yep.
of the three different aspects of the mind. And I just wanted to quote Nicholas Tesla. It's funny I'm saying Tesla, but like if you want to learn the secrets of the universe, think in frequency,
Mm-hmm.
vibration, and I forgot. Is there a third one? I think it's just frequency,
Energy, is it energy, frequency, and
energy.
vibration? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but what
exactly.
basically I don't know. I forgot the name of the chart. I wish I brought it up before because I wasn't prepared for that part. But it's a vibrational chart. It tells you where you are on the scale,
Oh, the
and
emotional guidance scale, upward spiral, downward spiral.
possibly it looks like a funnel, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
colored like based off like the chakras, kind of like I got here.
Yep,
And
yep. Exactly.
yeah, like your emotional state, your state of being you're gonna attract what you are,
Yep.
because like whatever vibration you're in. This is why a month ago I was in the hospital and I was in a low vibrational state. I was in a state of fear. I was in a state of a stagnant energy, and I had to be brought in. And there's safety measures in place, like the system. The world is a system, right?
Yes. The
We're
Matrix. Yes. Yes.
we're in a matrix. It's anything is possible. If you're listening to the podcast this far, you should know that by now. But if you don't, I'm letting you know right now. But
Yes.
um, so the world is like a matrix, and you need to know how to play the system. You need to know how to play the game, and knowing that you're when people are here to help you, but you also have to help yourself, and you need
Yes.
to get into a higher vibrational state,
Yeah.
and
And
it's important to
yeah.
sorry.
Well, if I could just kind of insert a point right there, because you said something so good. You said game, right? And I just want to connect that dot really quick to this in terms of the work that I'm bringing, the business that I'm creating here. Conscious evolution, what I brought up earlier, is a sport. That like when it's seen as a sport and connected to that game, this is what we're playing when we talk about energy work or attraction, manifestation. This is conscious evolution. And what we do for our customers is we teach them how to play the sport like a professional, like an Olympian, like to play the game of conscious evolution as a professional. It's because, as you know, it's the game with yourself, right?
Yeah,
Like as the creator of reality, you're playing with yourself in that sense. And the Matrix is that reflection, as you said, right?
yeah,
So look, that's why we say conscious evolution, it's a sport. Play the sport as a professional, because then you have the most powerful approach to the healing, to the freedom, and to the mastery of your own consciousness. And the science and the art of being yourself.
yeah.
Like not in an additive sense, in a subtractive sense, in an essence sense.
There was a book that I read. I think it was called Level Up Your Life. I'll probably
Mm,
put it in the description, maybe for to the author. Um, but it's a very relative to what you're talking about when you talk to passion and imagination, and it basically explains how our human avatar is basically like our like we it's a big playing field. We can do anything. There's
mm,
nothing's off limits. We can create anything. The power of the mind. Like we can like, for example, like I put my daily task on my fridge back there, and I basically, and whenever I complete something, it's basically experience points.
yes.
And like you're leveling up, and then like I gave myself a reward, like rewards up there, and like basically it's something that will happen, like for example, like guidance and like a level up in my stats, but I don't know what it's going to be. It's random. And then like
Yes.
and then I experience these synchronicities throughout my life. And like
Yes.
you just have to be aware. You have to be consciously aware, and raising your awareness is part of my mission. Like I want to raise the level of consciousness.
Yes.
If you know
Likewise.
anything about that we're on a level 0 consciousness, and we want to get to level 1, that's my goal, is to get to level 1, and with the help of everybody on my podcast.
Yes.
So
Yes. Oh,
that's my
that's, you're
mission.
speaking my language. You're speaking my language there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought so. I wasn't sure, but I
Yeah.
wanted to get on that
I
level there.
yeah. And again, I would just reflect back and say from human to superhuman.
Yeah, and when we get
That,
to
yeah.
superhuman, that will be the new human. Like
Hmm.
it's not gonna be abnormal. It's gonna be natural,
Yep.
and
Yep.
we might even live longer than we usually do. We might, like, it's gonna be different. Like our suffering has to end. Our we have to have 100% transparency with each other. Like it's
Yes.
about raising the consciousness, to unity consciousness, it has to be like a universal thing.
Yes. Yes. Oh, amen.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought a lot about this. Like I'm always researching and doing work on spirituality. Like even when I got out of the hospital a month, it was in January. I was released at the end of January. I was just like I needed to take time off from the podcast. I needed to do more research, get grounded, and really think about what my passions really are. And I
Mm,
know that when I started this, I didn't have to contact anybody. It was just coming to me. And that's what I know I'm on the right path. It's coming to me.
yep. Yep.
So I just wanted to touch base
That's
on that.
probably when I came on the matchmaker radar, right?
Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
this year, like you're the first one. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to have you on here. So
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
so did you I was gonna talk about your dojo that you have. You have a dojo for, is it Passion?
Passion. Yes.
Passion.
Yes. So uh the Passion Dojo is the place where, for those who want the cleanest passion on earth. And what I said earlier about the science and art of being yourself, and of playing the sport of conscious evolution professionally, well, the Passion Dojo is what treats this as a martial art. So I'm sure many in the audience are familiar of like the dojo energy. It's like karate, judo, aikido, tai chi, all the martial arts, right? So kind of take that, but like think about a gym. A gym and a dojo are very, very similar, right? You're going there to work out. You're going there to challenge yourself, to push your limits, right? And that's why the Passion Dojo for me is what I would have wanted, in that, like, I need a place where I can focus on my passion and level up and improve the quality of my consciousness, to clean, to train, and to refine my consciousness and my life, my reality, my abilities, my superhuman abilities. So at the moment, it's a virtual gym, but the vision is to do physical ones too, brick and mortar, Passion dojos all around the world. But yeah, if you want the best performing passion, then come on in, because this is that place to clean it, train it, refine it as a fuel, performance and performance, like the thinking again, operating system, performance, quantum computing.
I have a lot of questions about that because
Please.
let me ask all the questions and let you answer them. But like, is there um a specific age group, or are they gonna be separated? Is there any free sessions, or is it free for a little bit and then there's gonna be like you have to pay for like a membership? And when you say clean it, is it like shadow work type of cleaning with the passion? Yeah.
Mm. Well, I think we could arrange a special if you listen to this episode and you come check us out and reach out. Mention that you heard me on this episode, and I can comp you a class for sure. So that's a special gift for your audience.
Awesome.
So I will remember that I said that, but just remind me. um, and so that's for that. That was the first, and then you said shadow work. Yes, let me feel what you're asking there, because I feel there is a dramatic difference between looking at healing as a perpetual loop that is like never ending, and that kind of keeps a oh, how do I say this, like, kind of gently? It kind of perpetuates a state of consciousness rather than improve it. When healing is done from a place of that it's never done, in a way, in a very personal and incomplete way, or a fixing what's broken sort of way. I'm broken and I need to be fixed. So we don't treat healing in that sense in the Passion Dojo, because when it's looked at in a not broken, in a wholeness, you are already whole standpoint,
Mhm.
then yes, you do very deep work, like you said, shadow work. Everything that comes up has to be felt, has to be honored, seen, listened to. But if it's done from that place, that it's not to fix something that is incomplete, but that you are already whole and you're consciously evolving, healing is just the first, how should I say, stage of soul evolution, because the conversation of healing is of the body, right? But once you have evolved beyond that, once you see the greater picture here, the next stage is freedom. Healing and freedom are different conversations. One is of the body, the other is of the mind. And when you kind of see the big picture there, the healing can be accelerated and ultimately transcended to a new conversation, to a higher conversation of freedom. And so that's how we do healing in the Passion Dojo, and it very much accelerates conscious evolution.
I wanted to have an analogy here. Now, before I get into the analogy, you started a franchise of superhero. I haven't checked it out myself yet, but a superhero
Oh.
franchise, which I'm guessing this comes to your imagination and your passion, another passion of yours,
Mhm.
called Mania. Now, I have a question. I don't know how big Mania is yet. Maybe it's huge, and I have no idea.
No,
But
not yet, not yet.
are you aiming to be the next Stan Lee, or it's Stan Lee, right? Yeah, of course.
Yes. So Mania was like one of my first kind of like legit research and development projects. It was like my one of the first artist investments that I've ever done in my life. Like, actually picking an idea and focusing and bringing in people and making something. I had never done anything like that as an artist before. So we did create issues, and we are going to like do some releases here and things like that. But at the moment, it's not like an active project, to the sense, like we did it a few years ago. I got to speak at Comic-Con, which was really cool. But as far as being the next, I don't know. We'll see. Like, it definitely is a passion project. It has a mission of mental health empowerment behind it, and it is very much, I love it, and it just needs the time and the resources, and to get bigger.
Yeah,
But
it's just off
it's
to the side, but you're planning on coming back to it. I understand.
exactly,
Now,
yeah,
the
yeah,
reason why I bring that up is because I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Goku and Superman.
yes.
So the difference between the two, I'm not gonna say which one's better, which one's. I'm a Goku fan myself, but I have a
Mm-hmm.
Goku tattoo. But Superman feels like, I mean, and depending on which version you're talking about, he's basically God. He can do anything he wants. He can go back in
Sure.
time. He's all the powers. Now the difference between that and Goku is Goku's thriving. He's has the passion to become better all the time. He's always improving himself. He doesn't claim to be perfect. You understand?
Yes.
So in your dojo, you're basically improving the passion and imagination to level yourself up. That's why he's always reaching a new height, like Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2,
Yeah.
3.
Not my
And
final form.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right. And I love, I'm a really diehard Dragon Ball Z fan. I didn't get really into
Yeah.
Super much, but I love the whole franchise. Now,
Yes.
um, when we talk about evolution and how this is helping evolution, um, I wanted to ask, do you believe that consciousness was expanded through history, like this might be off topic, but through
Oh.
through the use of um psychedelics? Because I've heard that argument before.
And you're asking what of that?
Like, for example, psilocybin. They believe
Yes.
that our ancestors, like, it could have been, I don't
Oh,
know,
yes.
primates. They could have used psilocybin back in history.
Yes.
And I'm not saying you have to use it to get to the next level. We already reached that level, basically, where we need to be with, maybe not everybody, but we're all connected together. So how do you believe that in history that helped us get to where we are?
Oh, sure. Sure. Every the permission slips out there are numerous for transcendence, for seeking truth. Um, and it's infinite possibilities, infinite creativity at a consciousness level, right? Um, and so to
Do you
me, like
agree?
that, yeah, I agree. Like I agree. They're all
Yeah, you
permission
don't have to
slips to just,
expand on it. I just wanted to
yeah.
know if you agree, because this, now you're more involved in the tech side, not the psychedelic side.
Right.
Now, this is important because we need to understand how to use technology in a positive way, because technology is abused in the
Yes.
wrong ways. We're using it for our own selfish desires,
Yes.
mainly to manipulate our own species to get what we want
Mm,
in different ways. Now, it's very aware, it'd be very important to be aware that when we use it as a collective, like whenever like monks try to raise a collective, they don't try, they do it, and they do it in a way where they basically connect with people around the world, and people are meditating, and these places are praying, and it does have an impact on the whole world. Now, when we do that with everything else other than just prayer and meditation, we're raising the collective like together through technology. Like, that's really going to help us get to level 1 where we need to be.
yes. I think I'm tracking. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought you might have some comments on that, but I don't know how to turn that into a question. Um,
Right. The technology, where I love to go is terms. So first, the question that I would ask in response to that is, well, how are we defining technology?
how are we
Because
defining things?
how are we defining technology? Because definitely not disagreeing that it can be abused and everything that you said, right? But if by our terms we are separating humanity is over here and technology is over here, and there's a separation, a division, and a part, that is fear driven. That is fear driven. That's where all the narratives, the entertainment, the destruction of civilization, all that stuff comes from us defining, okay, us humans are over here and technology is over here, and they're very much apart. But that's not how I define it, because I look at humanity and technology are evolving up the same mountain, just on different sides. We're not separate. And when I feel the unity of that, there's no fear. It's literally we're teaching and learning from each other and evolving up the same mountaintop, ultimately to reach the same pinnacle, singularity together. And we're learning and teaching each other, and one is waiting for the other to evolve. And it's not, and you see, it's a collaboration between us in seeing, well, human intelligence, artificial intelligence are coming from this same one intelligence.
No, I get what you're saying, because we're all energy, and then like
Yes.
I'm looking at, I'm made out of atoms, I'm made out of whatever, neutrons or electrons or whatever particles, and I'm looking at a screen. It's made of the same thing. It's not like we're capturing the light. We're
Yes.
capturing light energy, and it's you just have to be on that same frequency is what I'm trying to get at. Is that you have to tune yourself, your mind and your body and your spirit to the frequency of getting on to the next level. To Because in I mean, like, I think that everybody is different, but we shift into different realities through just like our thoughts and
Mm-hmm.
movement, and I'm always like, whenever I do like a routine, like a meditation, or like come out of the shower, even, I think of it as like I'm like, I use my imagination, and I'm teleporting into the best possible outcome where I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And and then the day will play out the way it's supposed to, and it might not be the best day, but that's where you have to have the strength to know that the day's going to get better. It's going to get better, even if it doesn't get better that day, and the next day it will be way better, because that the last day was worse, you know. So like, sometimes days are not going to get better, but time will get better. We're moving through it, and then we can have an argument over time, but I'm not going to get into that.
Mm-hmm.
But um I forgot where I was going with this, but if you want to comment.
No, I see exactly what you're saying for sure.
Yeah. Now, what where would you like to lead from here? Because I'm kind of stumped on what to ask.
Mm. Well, what
Philosophies.
philosophy? So the game changing kind of realization and insight when it comes to philosophy that really ramp things up. It really like put a perspective of, because I was a very highly sensitive person growing up, being an empath, and I'm sure you can relate to that. To me, and this is actually, it's funny because you know how you were saying, to go from the zero to the one,
Mm-hmm.
right? In terms of the level up, I actually reversed that. Go from the one to the zero, because especially in the context of philosophy that we're talking about right now, first, the question of, well, what is philosophy, right? Philosophy is metaphysics. Philosophy is words to define our collective experience, right? But what I didn't understand about that was, well, first, the awareness of it, but then there's the, can it be changed? And the mind-blowing realization that I had was, well, okay, the left brain is the logic and it's the science, right? The right brain is the creative and the irrational, right? And the spirituality, right? Science and spirituality. Well, what is it that connects the two sides of our brain? Philosophy,
The belief.
belief, and connecting logic to emotion. When logic connects to emotion, that's what an insight is. That's what a realization is. That's what knowledge is when logic and emotion connect. And it's philosophy that builds that bridge between the brains. And what I noticed was, in the information age, all of personal development, self-help, is basically saying, here's a platter of information. Here's a philosophy that I have come up with, right? And you're supposed to take that and go, okay, put that in my brain and go, like, add it, right? And change, right? Additive and like information delivered, right? To me, that is not efficient at all. So I turned around this game and I look at it, and I have, there's a part of as unphilosophy. This is what really served me was, okay, we need a way to understand and to subtract the philosophies that are no longer efficient for us in order to actually build philosophy from a neutral or a blank place of our creativity. That's when things go so much faster, because now you're not carrying all these old philosophies, all these old operating systems anymore. But what if you could subtract that so that you can find the one that serves you best? That to me is philosophy.
Yeah, I there's actually a saying in mainstream spirituality. It's called reprogramming your belief systems. And
Yep,
if you want to translate over to operating systems, it's basically resetting your operating system, or just like uninstalling all the programs.
exactly,
So
exactly.
now every day there's a program. Every time we turn on a TV, even if you don't watch TV, every time somebody's trying to make you believe something that you don't understand, and you're that's a thought being put into your head. That's basically a program. It might be a little add-on extension to what you already know, or like, and it could be, you basically have to use your intuition to say, is this beneficial for me or is it
Mm-hmm.
not? And then
Mm-hmm.
that's when you make your decision and be like, do I want to continue going down this path, or do I want to take it away from me? So you basically clean slate it. Every day you have to you have to basically have your takeaways and basically go like, okay, what's the pros and cons of the things that I've learned today? Is it beneficial? Is it not? And there's a lot of truths out there, but like, to be honest, in my opinion, the things that you focus on most are going to grow. Even if, like, it's hard to say what truth is, because I don't know if you've experienced this yourself, but anything's possible. And a lot of truths are true because they put the belief to it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And anything that fluctuates or waves uh isn't necessarily the highest truth.
Yes, because like there could be some evidence. There could be lots of evidence of a truth that is a lot of fear-based truth. But if
Exactly.
you don't give power to the fear, and don't feed into it and fight it, because when you fight fear, what's going to happen? You're going to become more fearful. And then 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 you're going
It'll persist.
It will just it will get stronger and stronger. That's how that the you be it's good to be aware of these things, but it's not good to make it grow.
Exactly.
And
Couldn't agree more.
our ignorance is not being aware of all these things that we have access to. We have been access to infinite power. What is power? Power is love. It's universal, unconditional love. That's basically what all religions teach us is peace and basically God is a 2-for-1. I say God is a 2-for-1 because it's 2 words and in a short amount of time. It's 3 letters. God, unconditional love. That's what it is. So, we need to reach that state of unity and unconditional love, transparency, and we need to evolve our imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And a good tool, I had a previous, I think it was one of the 2 podcasts back. He was talking about inner child work. I don't know if you ever heard of
Oh
inner
yeah.
child work. Have
Love
you done it yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Because like,
Oh yeah.
everybody does this differently, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know how. If you want to kind of elaborate on how you did your inner child work.
In a quantum self way, I think one of the biggest exercises that I love, and it is so fruitful, is if you have this like memory from childhood, right? That is, trauma or rejection or some impact, some spike in your early days. Basically, in a meditation, to at whatever current age you're at, right? You basically picture yourself sitting next to that child and you speak to him or her from the new wisdom that you have. What did they need to hear at that point in time that they didn't hear or get or receive, right? So you have this conversation from your wisdom of what did they need to hear? What did they need in that moment? What did they need to not do, believe or something? And have that conversation and really ask yourself, did they hear it? Did they hear you? And what's so magical about that is almost the visual that happens that I see is it creates like a wave back to your present moment where you're like, oh, they heard it. And then you get to ride this wave back to your present moment of like, wow, like I just made a change in my timeline. And you have that wave of like relief coming, washing back because you've delivered the wisdom they needed to hear in that moment in order to move on. And that to me, there's some good quantum healing in that.
It's important that when you say it created a wave. Now, in my very first podcast, it was labeled butterfly versus the domino effect, and the domino effect. And doing the inner child work as the way you explained it, I believe that's a form of time travel, a quantum time travel it's not in the way that we perceive time travel, like in the movies and stuff like that, but it is a form of healing time travel.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Consciousness.
You're healing our consciousness. This is very important, especially those who are really wounded in their minds, in their psyche from past traumas, to do the work. It's hard. It's not easy to do this work. I'm not going to be honest with you. It's not easy. However,
not for the faint of heart.
especially how severe the trauma is. However, it is worth it to do the work. And like this is magical. Like it's all like, I forgot how is it the CIA? They explain it as freaking magic and weird science or something like that. I forgot how they explain it. But like basically where you're doing leaps that you're connected to yourself in the now, but every moment's the now, so you can connect to the past in the now, but you're just connecting at a higher state of knowing, higher state of vibration. You have that knowledge to heal yourself. It's like it never even happened, but it did happen, but you did the work. It's like when you're looking on Instagram, or like, just for example, Instagram or like a social media,
Yep.
right? So you're looking on social media and uh, a message comes to you. How do you not know that's not your future self? Or like you're going out into the street, you see a billboard, and you're like, how do you know that's not your future self? That could be your future self giving you messages. It's synchronicities.
Yep. Synchronicities. Yeah,
Yeah,
quantum self, light to light.
yeah. It's very profound, and I like meeting like-minded individuals in this type of realm. I call it a realm, like the metaverse. Like I like it. Like this, I liked just coming up with a name for this podcast because it drags people into it. It's like that's mysterious. I like this where this is going. Now
Mhm.
you you talk about also pro wrestling. I don't know how versed are into that. Like what type of pro wrestling are we talking about?
uh like WWE,
Is that
world
that's what you're
yeah,
into?
yeah, professional wrestling, yeah. Um yeah, I've been a lifelong fan. And it's also, I think I've got a book idea of like how professional wrestling like taught me the meaning of life, because that it's entertainment, but when it's done well, I don't think there is anything that compares to uh, the quality of entertainment that it is, and the passion personified, larger than life passion. Um, yeah, I'm a huge fan. So ask me anything. Have you ever watched it
I
before?
mean, I know the old school OG barely because my friend was a big fan growing
Okay,
up, and
okay,
like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then we got
right,
like
right.
I think it's Kane, and then we got like The
The Rock,
Undertaker, and of course The Rock.
Undertaker.
Everybody knows The
Yep.
Rock, but like I think
Hmm.
Stone Cold was one of my favorite ones, but just because The Rock was everybody's favorite, and I didn't want to be on the bandwagon of The Rock. But he's amazing. Everybody
Right.
loves The Rock, but it's like I gotta pick somebody else. So Stone Cold
Yeah.
was, but
The
then
other
now The
option.
Rock
Yep.
is of course a big shot
Yeah.
again. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I understand that. It's a lot of psychology is going on throughout that
Exactly.
the whole show. It's like it's teaching
Yeah.
you psychology and how to prepare for situations and to how to like even though it's like it's not real, but it gives you that like it does give you passion. It gives you like motivation. It's motivational.
Sure. Sure. Because it's both a sport and theater entertainment. And it again, when it's done well, it blurs those lines. And I think that's the best territory of magic for entertainment, is when is this like suspension of disbelief, right? Like, I don't know if this is real or not, but this is freaking good. Um, yeah, yeah, yep.
All right. Now I want to go back into your utility
Mhm,
design for helping people unlock their potential.
mhm.
Now, when we're talking about unlocking potential, we already talked about it's always an ongoing process. It's never completed.
Yes,
And I think that the people who are struggling the most in life really need to hear like that. Like they need this the most is the people who are struggling the most. And it starts with the people who are more open to it, and then
sure,
it's like what when you work one on one, you get more things done. That's how I like to see it. Like when you work, it starts with really getting someone to believe in you as much as you believe in yourself. And if you do it like when like I don't know, like you get these people who come to your door, like or you go to like this group meeting and they're trying to sell you something, and turns out like it's just like it doesn't work the same way as if it was just like a one-on-one, you know.
sure.
And direct getting someone
Experience.
to believe it, somebody like what you're trying to tell them, teach them. So it's having this conversation like directly with me is
Yes.
I'm feeling that passion. I'm feeling it. It's real. Like everything that you're very enthusiastic about this. And
Yes.
that's what I want people to understand is how well this idea that you have is
Yes.
going to change the world.
Yes. I mean, let's just parallel for a second, right?
Okay.
Think about water from way, way back in history till now, the utility, how the utility of water and what it does, right? So before, I don't even, we're talking, I mean, Roman times, or when did they first do like water ducts, right? That was Roman times or
We'll just say it's around that
yeah.
time.
So they had to devise the way to get water from over here to over here, right? And then they did that, right? But that then we're talking now getting closer to industrial and all of this is like, well, we need clean water because if we're drinking dirty water, we're going to get sick, right? So then that infrastructure of, okay, we need to get the water cleaned and then we need to get it to every single house in the United States, right? Like infrastructure,
Yeah.
cleaning the water and then getting the water to every household, every house, right? Just feel the infrastructure of the utility because water is a basic human need, right? And if it's dirty, then our health is going to get hit. If it's clean, it's clean. So feel that as a supply, first and foremost, utility, water supply. And then the infrastructure of how that support, how that water comes to you and to the tap in your kitchen, right? Or your shower. So now parallel that with passion as a fuel. So you're feeling, like you said, my passion coming through this, right? Well, the utility that we're creating in the world, changing the question that you asked me, right? Is, well, what if you could plug in to our company and receive the highest quality passion in the world? Receive a supply of it, like water, to receive water, to receive passion that can either in the I'm kind of mixing metaphors here. I'm like Robin Williams with metaphors sometimes. uh, think the Tesla and the superchargers, right? You go to the supercharger station and you charge up your battery, right? Well, the same applies to passion here. You could plug in and go to the Passion Dojo and then fill your battery with this passion and then go and go play, right? This is how we're looking at it, where we're supplying it in the blog posts that we put out, the videos that we put out, the programs that we have, the services, programs, services, all the suite of everything that we've got is us supplying it in energy, in the information. It's all transmitted. It's delivered that way, right? So people can get it and take it, receive it, right? That's one avenue of this utility is we're supplying the highest quality passion in the world. It's the cleanest. And just think, okay, you need a way to receive it. You need the outlet on your wall or the water tap in your thing. Like, so the conceptually, you're seeing what I'm saying, right? Is this is the invention that I'm bringing is how to plug in, how to receive it. And then the other side is the support, the tech support
Now, yeah.
of getting it refined, getting the fear out, getting the negativity out, getting it to perform as the high performance superhuman fuel that it is.
Like we talked about this is a form of a mental health, self-love type of technique, basically. Like,
Sure.
are you teaching people to do this on their own, but also have the support system there? So you're teaching people how to do it themselves.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, sure, community, right? I think having a community of other souls that are aiming for superhuman and who are prioritizing their conscious evolution, right? They want to play professionally, right? To be with others. That community is first and foremost. But yes, the uh it is definitely giving people the tools to be self-driven, to consciously evolve. It is the game with themselves, right? And it's just how fast do you want to go, and getting that support to is that accountability, is it community, belonging, all of that stuff is icing on that cake, right?
Yeah, because like when you look, I'm just thinking of like a classroom, like you're basically you're picking your categories of where you want to like level up in and what you want to train on, and you basically have that focus, you have that tunnel vision that you want to basically level up that at their area first or what have you,
Yeah.
and you're giving them the opportunity, you're showing them, you're basically helping their blind spots in that area, and you're showing them like this is what you need to work on, and we're gonna get, it's basically showing them how to tap into spiritually that feeling, because it takes a lot of training. I recently been practicing like imagination a lot. My passion to work with inner child work of imagining, because imagining is a really powerful, it's the thing we lost when we became adults, when we came like out, like for the, at least for the my generation, a lot of people lost it, and they became too lost in their ego. And I think a lot of like high school and just going
Mm-hmm.
through
Oh,
society, it just
yeah.
it just it strips you from that nature, and it puts you into your ego, because it's more of a survival, it's a survival fear instinct that we have, and we need
Yeah.
to tap back into nature. It's not just going outside, you can be outside every day, but
Yep.
you have to have that imagination, you have to have that creative expression and that
Yes.
passion.
Yes. Yeah. And what you said, what the Morpheus quote comes up to me, right? I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it, right?
Yeah.
And everyone has different temperaments. Like some people can go to a gym and literally work out by themselves and know what they want to do at each machine, and self-driven, right? People have that temperament, and then others need a personal trainer to hold them down and say, okay, do this, now do this, now do this, now do this. And that's how they focus, is when they have that person telling them, okay, here takes away the decisions, right? So everyone has different temperaments on how much support they need and how much they want to do it themselves, right?
I believe that society is becoming more and more open to asking and reaching for help, because before it was such a sick stigma to reach for help,
Yes.
and people are like, I'm embarrassed because I'm asking for help. But
Uh,
you don't have, that's, asking for help is a strength. That means that you know how to use your resources,
yes. Oh,
and
yes.
it's very important to use your lifelines. If you're playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and you have lifelines, you want to use those to get to the top. Like, you're gonna
Mhm.
have to phone a friend, maybe he knows more than you do. That's your blind spot right there. The audience
Totally.
is there to help you.
Totally.
You know,
You said it so good. Yeah.
I'm good at analogies and metaphors.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but is there anything, I still have time, but is there anything you else wanna touch base that I haven't covered? I can always have you on another time, and we can dive deeper into other topics that you want to talk about, because I'm glad to have you on again, Jeremy. And it's been, we covered a lot so far, and
We
we
did.
dived into your universal imagination research, and the utility design, everything like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been fun. Like, I mean, like, stick around at the end, but is there anything you wanna tell the audience where they can find you and how they can use this? Is it going to be a promo code, or is it going to be like how are they going to get to use your pass?
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll have a link. We'll send you in the show notes of how to access um, our website, universalimagination.org. And there we've got different from free to demo. Like, we've got some various things that they can try for free. And then if they're interested in a demo of the utility, they can click start demo, and that starts the process where we can kind of guide you through it. And then for if they're interested in the Passion Dojo, I'm sure they just have to contact or get in touch with me on one of my channels. Go to our website. There's a contact button there. Yeah, there's ways. The ways and just tell me you listen to this podcast, and we'll get you that complimentary Passion Dojo class.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jeremy. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
say
Since I came up
bye.
with that on here, I don't have a code, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'm just gonna say my socials here. It's the underscore meta underscore verse. That's on IG and Twitter. Our website is the dash meta dash verse.com. I'm just so surprised I got that, but I got it before Facebook decided to claim Meta.
Nice.
and um and yeah, so yeah, connect with us either way, and connect with Jeremy, because this is a spotlight right here, and I'm very excited. I'm very passionate about where your future like development of your organization is going to go. Like,
Yes.
this is just
Yeah.
how new is it, by the way? I didn't ask.
Well, my work, I feel I've been doing it for maybe 10 years now, but almost 4 years we've been doing the R&D, and then the Passion Company Vision utility company we'll say maybe 8 months.
8 months.
We've been doing it, and it's been, laying down some things and really getting the operations ready for more people. And yeah, it's been going.
Yeah, I'll take you up on your offer, and I will be a part of that dojo. And
Okay.
if that's option for me, we'll see.
Of course. The
Yeah.
pleasure being on this podcast. I'm glad you had me. It was a riveting conversation.
All right. I'm just stick
Yeah.
around for a few minutes. I'm just gonna end it here. And thanks everybody for watching and listening. And catch you next time.
See ya.